I thought so as well. And in your opening monologue, you talked about some mainstream media person calling this whole thing BS. I mean, these are the same people talking about BS. These are the same people who told us the Steele dossier was accurate. These are the same people who said, oh, we got this anonymous impeachment whistleblower that no one's ever going to get to talk to, that I didn't get to cross-examine, that the American people never even got to meet, never even got to see. We had to believe him. But, oh, you can't believe any of this, and we got to get this election, this questioning the concerns and the anomalies and the irregularities in the election. This has got to stop. I just don't think the American people buy that. And so I appreciate the president's tenacity here, his legal team's tenacity in trying to get to the bottom of what happened. I mean, just think about yesterday. They found in the last 2 days, they found 5,000 some votes in Georgia, votes that had never been counted. This is 2.5 weeks after the election. So what's wrong with following the process, following the law? We got 25 days till the Electoral College has to meet. Let's get to the bottom of it.
And you're calling for an investigation. You're demanding an investigation, a congressional investigation. You're on the Judiciary Committee. What would that look like? How do you get that started? And is there enough time?
Well, yeah, there'd be enough time, but there's probably not the concern from Mr. Nadler and Chairwoman Maloney. I mean, the two committees that have the jurisdiction here would be the Oversight Committee and the Judiciary Committee. That's why Ranking Member Comer and I wrote the letter to Chairman Nadler and Chairwoman Maloney. Let's look into this. And the fundamental question is, why? Why don't you want to look into it? Why don't you want to find out what happened? What's wrong with figuring all this out? I mean, in the state of Pennsylvania, some counties were allowed to cure their ballots. Some counties weren't. Some counties allowed voters to be pre-canvassed. Other counties didn't. Some counties allowed temporary satellite offices for people to register and vote. Other counties didn't. You had all kinds of concerns there. Why don't we want to figure all this out? I mean, again, they took 4 years to investigate the phony Russian hoax. What's wrong with 4 weeks of investigating what happened in this election? After all, 73 million Americans know instinctively that something doesn't smell right here. I mean, the president got 10 million more votes than he got 4 years ago. The Republicans kept the Senate. We picked up 12 seats in the House. We maintained every state legislature and actually picked up a new one in New Hampshire. But the president didn't win. If I'd have told you that, Greg, before the election, you'd have said there's no way that would be the case. There's no way that would happen. But that's exactly what happened. And then you have all these affidavits, all these concerns. Let's get to the bottom of it. And the most important question is, why don't the Democrats want to?
You're one of his trusted lieutenants on the Hill. Not all Republicans are in his corner, as you know, in the swamp. We haven't seen the president since Veterans Day. Just what do you make of that? I had a theory in the opening. Maybe you heard it, but should he be out there more? What's up with this?
Well, I mean, I think the president's working with his lawyers, working with his team, trying to figure out exactly what took place in this election and trying to get to the bottom of it all. I also think this president has had the most successful term in American history. You think about this is I like him for so many reasons, but one of the main reasons I like the president so much is he did what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to cut taxes. He did. He said he'd reduce regulations. He did. He said he'd have a great economy. We did. It's now roaring back in spite of these governors locking down their states. He said he would get out of the Iran deal. He did. He said he'd build a wall. He did. He said he'd put the embassy in Jerusalem. He did. He said he'd do. Think about what he's done with dealing with coronavirus and Operation Warp Speed. So this guy has done more of what he said he would do. He said he would put out a list, pick from that list, put him on the Supreme Court. I think the American people appreciate it. I think he's entitled to work with his legal team right now and try to figure out what exactly happened in this election.